Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on the Flash movie or film, as well as just some of the DC Universe live action film stuff as a whole, but mainly the Flash film. So we are getting closer and closer to the first proper trailer for this, very much long awaited Flash film, which we know is set to come our way in the middle of June, well, June 16th to be precise. Now, of course, there is a good amount of, I guess excitement, but also just curiosity around that trailer and exactly how much of the focus for this trailer will be on Ezra Miller's Barry Allen and Flash, obviously as well, because apparently at CinemaCon, I think it was last year, when they played a trailer. I don't know if it's specifically this trailer that we're going to get at the Super Bowl or like a rough one, but they played a trailer for the film, and apparently, just apparently, because obviously it didn't leak, it heavily focused on Michael Keaton's Batman, rather than Ezra Miller's Flash and just Ezra Miller's Barry Allen, just, I guess, specifically Ezra Miller. However, it is important to remember that this came out, like, CinemaCon came out and that trailer came out, I think it was, like, around the height of all that drama, or, like, shortly after it, and I think Ezra actually might have been on the run at that stage, not too sure, and it seems that by the time the trailer comes out, which is, as I said, is during the Super Bowl, that whole Ezra Miller court trial will be done and dusted. At least it should be, because it'll be running much longer than a case like that should. So we should know exactly what's going on with Ezra by the time the trailer comes out, so there won't be, or hopefully wouldn't be, any more speculation around what's happening next. And on that note, Ezra's trial actually does start this coming Friday from what I've read, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be a long one because the actual crime isn't like a major one, like a murder or anything like that, so I don't think we'll be waiting months or even weeks to learn what's going on there and whether Ezra is guilty or not. And that actually leads into the first topic for today in this video. So over the past couple of days, actually, I'd say just early in the week, I won't say over the past couple of days, early in the week, Variety posted an article which was mainly around Dwayne Johnson or The Rock's plan around potentially taking over the live action DC universe, starting with Black Adam and leading into Superman and all that stuff, which of course and clearly did not work. But in that article, they also gave some minor updates to this upcoming DC universe that is coming our way over the next year with 4 films, but also in the near future after that with James Gunn's creations and what he's doing with his DC universe and whether, it's going to be a reboot exactly or not. Now, one thing they note in the article, just to get out of the way, is that it doesn't seem like they're unsure as to whether it's going to be a complete reboot or a soft one. It could be either. It's probably a flip of the coin, but, hopefully we learn that pretty soon. But one of the main things that was brought up that got people talking is probably the main thing from this, I think it's actually the main thing from this article that had people going, was Ezra Miller and the future with Ezra as the Flash, and this is what Variety said in their article. Given that Miller has stayed out of trouble since beginning mental health treatment in the summer, some executives are amenable to continuing with the actor as the world-saving speedster after the Flash bows on June 16. Now, that is true. We have heard nothing in general from Ezra since that statement came out, whenever it was, saying sorry but not saying sorry at the same time. It was a really weird statement that came out, but that's it. Like, the only update we had was that Ezra had filmed pickup scenes for the Flash film, and I think it was like only a day or two of pickups, but Ezra was in California at the Warner Brothers lot filming pickups and stuff like that, and I think that was really the last update in regards to what Ezra was doing. But since that point, Ezra hasn't gone and stolen anything or run away or anything like that again. From apparently what's being said, Ezra's just chilling at the family home. That's what's happening, which is good. Now, whether that mental health treatment's happening, it could be not. We don't know. It could be a PR stunt. But at least Ezra isn't in the news for doing something silly. Now, in regards to this and Ezra continuing in the role, look, I've always said I don't really care either way as long as it's the right decision. And I don't know if I'm the one that can decide whether it's the right decision, whether it's Ezra, whether it's WB, or whether it's how this Flash movie performs. I don't know what the right decision is. Morally, you probably move on from Ezra. But that really depends on something that I've said for a while. And I think it's whether Ezra continues, or Ezra continuing as the Flash is dependent on one pretty major thing, and that's whether Ezra is found guilty or not. And I think that's the moral thing there. If Ezra is actually found guilty, then yeah, you can't continue on with Ezra in the role, can you? Now, the charge against Ezra could result in prison time or a fine, and the fine would be like a penny to Ezra. I think it's like a couple of $1,000s or something. It's something that would be like really harsh to your average Joe, but someone that's, a movie star, just in Hollywood, able to live pretty comfortably, it's like a penny. So Ezra will be hoping for the fine. But apparently it's like sort of like a case-by-case decision from what I've read about. So it could be prison time, could be a fine, could be a mix of both. I don't know. But that verdict would be the decider if Warner Brothers aren't the decider. Now, James Gunn did respond to this article and I guess the Ezra thing in some way, because there was another part that said that I think it was like Wonder Woman wasn't in his plans, like James Gunn's plans, for the opening 3 or so years of his DC universe. So that's like in the next 4 years, I guess, because there's no Wonder Woman movie coming out this year. And James said that this was not the case. But around the Ezra issue, he did address it. Gunn said he wasn't sure about Ezra and exactly what was going on with Ezra. And that was it. He sort of like, glossed over it pretty quickly and pretty easily. Now this is, you don't want to call someone a liar, but it's probably a lie. You'd have to think James knows something. And it's either hinting that it's not up to him, maybe, whether Ezra continues or not, because it could just be up to the higher-ups in Warner Brothers, because they're the one, I guess, that pay Ezra. Because it's important that James said he enjoyed working with Ezra on Peacemaker, like the finale scenes that they did there and everything like that. So it's not like James has a bad track record with Ezra. It's stuff outside of that. But also, this could maybe be hinting that James is going to recast The Flash like he did with Superman and like he potentially could do with some other characters. So depends with Ezra. I guess, yeah, it depends if Ezra is his vision for The Flash or whether he sees The Flash being some other actor. Now, speaking of James Gunn, apparently part of his, well, not apparently because we know it is, but part of his DC slate is going to be coming very soon. Now, we know it's an 8 to 10 year plan. He said that, but we're only going to get a bit of it. So I'd assume that we're going to get stuff that he wants to push into development that will come out over the next 2 to 3 years or something like that. So I would expect 3 to 4 projects or something like that, maybe like 3 movies and 1 TV show. Because I've seen people saying like, why announce only a small amount or why announce any at all if you're not going to announce everything? And also, I guess the main thing is that you have to build slowly, but also he has to announce stuff so they can publicly attach writers, directors, actors and stuff to it. You can't just go, oh yeah, I've got 4 mystery projects, and then just attach, Tom Cruise has been attached to DC project or DC mystery project #1. Like, you can't do that. It has to be an actual project that's in development, actual thing. So that's what's going to happen there. Now, I guess the number is a curious thing that people have. I think it's going to be like 3 to 4 because that seems like a decent building block. But it could be more. Might only be 2 or 3. It's up to James Gunn and what he feels confident announcing. But as I said before, I think it might be 3 movies and 1 TV show. And James Gunn did say that he's writing a DC TV show at the moment. Now, big question around that is like, well, what the hell is it? Now, I can't remember if this rumor came out before James Gunn got this job and before there was really any talk about him getting this job, or if it was discussed after he was appointed co-head of DC Studios with Peter Safran. Now, this was an Amanda Waller show that was going to be like a through line throughout the DC universe. Now, I have a feeling, or like in regards to like projects that he'd be attached to, I think this might have been something that was in the works beforehand, just because I think if you're rebooting with Superman and just some general canon stuff, this doesn't seem like the best project to start off with. I don't know. It's a bit of a flip of the coin in regards to exactly where this rumor came out and whether it's actually 100% true or not. He might address it as well, saying, yeah, that was what I was working on, but that's when we're in like the past ownership and that universe and where that universe was heading and stuff. So I was just playing my little part in it. But now that I'm, king of the castle, I can construct it the way I want, and maybe that doesn't fold in at the moment, and that can be saved for 5, 6, 7 years from now, whatever it might be. The side note with that is that you do have Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, who is one of the better actresses going around. So you can understand why you'd want to do something maybe focusing on that might streamline through various projects, both in the film side and the TV side as well. But I think a TV show that he would be doing now would be something that really, I think, sets the atmosphere maybe for this new DC universe he's creating and maybe explores it in some way. But obviously it wouldn't be ridiculously big at the same time. So it's probably throw a dart at a dartboard and you probably get closer than actually having a proper guess. But to finish off the video, we did actually get some new Flash movie stuff just to quickly go over. One is like a comic book thing that's going to be released around the movie, and you get like a better look at the suit. So you can see it right here. And it's nothing new, like in regards to we've seen the suit before and everything, but you get like a different angle and stuff. I've always said that the suit to me looks good. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10, but I'd probably give like an 8, 9 out of 10. Not the biggest fan, like the boots being like all disjointed and stuff. It just looks a bit odd. Looks like they've been cracked or something, and he's used like super glue to stick them to his leg. But you know, for the most part, it's fine. The thing that people have an issue with is the cowl. From certain angles, the cowl looks good, but then from other angles, it looks a bit weird. I don't hate it, but I don't love it at the same time. I think it could have been a bit better. Like, I think the cowl that he wore in the Justice League movies was better than the one he has now, but the rest of the suit is much better than the rest of the suit in those Justice League films. So it's like a bit of a win-lose in regards to that. But yeah, I don't know what issue this is specifically for. I think it's just maybe just a default one, like a placeholder, until they decide what it's going to be on the cover of. So I have to wait and see there. And the last thing here is actually something that Andy Muschietti, who is the director of the film, posted on Instagram only maybe yesterday from when you're watching this video. And that's him holding like a Flash emblem. And this is apparently in the streets of Central City. Now, Flash Film News posted, I only just saw this literally before I made this video, so luckily I was browsing Twitter before I jumped on here. But they said that this is apparently is outside of Barry's apartment. So I know if Barry's apartment is this thing here above the pizza shop. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Barry lived above a pizza shop. It would sort of make sense. But obviously, I guess that means he moved out of that place that we saw in the Justice League films, unless he never lived in that at all. Like, that's not canon to this. So he lives in this apartment up here, above the pizza shop and above some other place. I'm not too sure what that shop there on the right-hand side is with the blue stuff. You can't really see. But anyway, it does not surprise me that he lives around food because he'd probably need food straight away as soon as he can get it. But yeah, I saw a lot of people saying this could be like the Dark Flash emblem. I don't know. I mean, it could be. It might just be like a cool emblem they have, a cool little piece they have. I'm not too sure. They use like a little Joker thing here on the right. I don't know if that's meant to be like a Joker sort of thing or a trickster sort of thing. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, it's there on the right. So yeah, make of that what you will. But I thought this was a cool little photo that sort of goes like, gives us like an insight into like the atmosphere of Andy Muschietti's Central City. So that should be cool to see when the movie does come out. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on all the stuff we went over. Always curious to read what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.